Since my dad only took 2 minutes, can I get an extra few minutes? Just kidding. I'd like to start off with a little story. This is a story of a man who's struggling with his faith. He goes into prayer and he asks God, I don't understand this heaven and hell thing. I would like a little wisdom. And so the angel came down, and of course he's startled because he wasn't expecting to see an angel. And he says, we want to grant you a wish. We want to show you what the difference between heaven and hell is. And so he takes him on a journey, and they walk to a door that says hell. And he opens the door, and he's surprised to what he sees. He thinks he's going to see fire, brimstone, darkness, and yelling and screaming. But instead what he sees is he sees a table, a round table with men and women surrounding it, and a big bowl of stew. A stew that smells so delicious that his mouth begins to water, and he's craving the food. And as he gets closer to the table, he notices that everyone around the table is angry. They're bitter. Their faces are sucked out as if they haven't had a meal in months. And he wonders why, and as he gets closer, he notices that each one of them has a spoon strapped upon his arms. Long spoons like those ones we would see on the walls of our parents' house. So they couldn't move their elbows. And so every time they were hungry, they would dip into the soup and they would try to put it to their mouths, but because they couldn't move their elbows, the food would fall right back into the bowl. And it made him more and more angry. And he got tired of seeing this sadness, and he asked the angel, can we please leave? And so he took him to another door, and as before he walked away, he says, you just witnessed hell. And they walked into another room, and this door was labeled heaven. And they opened the door, and he again was surprised. He thought he was going to see the pearly gates, roads paved with gold. But he saw was a room that was similar to the room of hell. It was a table surrounded by men and women, and a big bowl of stew that smelled so delicious that his mouth again began to water. But everyone around this table, they looked happy. They had smiles, they were laughing. But they too had the spoons on their arms that restricted them from moving their elbows. And the man said, I don't understand, what's the difference? And the angel looked at him with a smile and he said, the difference is in heaven, the people have learned to feed each other. One of the greatest joys of this reunion is seeing the Ubaldos feed each other. Physically, as I saw Ron feeding Des because she couldn't eat, seeing the cousins feed each other emotionally when we've had a little bit too much to drink and we start to share some of our struggles. And we took the time to listen to them and comfort them. And we feed each other spiritually as we're doing right now, sharing the Word. It's so beautiful that we get to enjoy these God moments. Another God moment that I got to enjoy, and I think all the cousins notices, it's the anticipation of the reunion. Getting the text, it's almost time. The reunion's coming. There was a time when we were little, we would be standing by the window waiting for the last one to show up. Where's Mary? And we would wait there and we would always ask the parents, are you sure they're coming? Are you sure they're coming? It was before we had text where we can say, hey, are you almost here? But we would wait until the last one showed up, Mary and Peter. And then when they showed up, we were so excited because then the party could really begin. And that really allows me to understand the prodigal son story. How so many times the prodigal son, he left the father so he can chase after the wild things of the world. And then when he realized that he was lost and afraid and he had no money, he realized that there's a father waiting for him. It's the anticipation of seeing each other each time we have a reunion that allows me to understand that no matter how broken we are, no matter how many times we're the prodigal son, no matter how many times we're the prodigal daughter, that there's a father waiting for us, not to berate us and say, I told you so, but to tell us, to run to us, cover us with his clothes and say, my son was lost, but now he's found. My son was dead, but now he's alive. I want you to all, I pray that you all get to know the Father so that you know that he's not there to berate you, but to welcome you with open arms. And now I think it's time for me to pass the mic. Who is our next speaker?
That was good.